All right. First of all, listen. This episode is dedicated to a Canadian legend. His name is Troy Herbites. Rest in peace to Troy Herbites. You're asking, who's Troy? Well, Troy is an ex-steelworker from Hamilton, Ontario. Troy became an inventor. You want to know why he became an inventor? Because he was attacked by the mighty Grizzly Bear. Yes, a grizzly bear almost took his life and his soul and his nutsack. So Troy swore, if I'm ever attacked by another grizzly bear, I'm going to be prepared. So what Troy did is he built a suit called the Mark IV. Don't know why he called it the Mark IV, but I think he just wanted to use the I and the V for the 4. And he built a grizzly bear resistant suit made of rubber, hockey equipment, and duct tape and chainmail, and would test it against bikers using golf clubs and baseball bats and Louisville Sluggers, and he took trucks to it. He did everything, logs and everything. And rest in peace, like I said, Troy, rest in peace. But it worked. And the reason I bring this up is because the Raptors could have used the Mark IV Grizzly suit the other day. And on that note,
let's go.
Welcome back, everybody, to the SportsEthos Toronto Raptor podcast, and I'm your host, as usual, Mr. L. Hoopo. That's 2 O's with a P and another O. And I'm with Mr. A.Rod, A-R-O-D, and Max Prophet. You better pay me. And listen up, everybody. Get in your seats, clean your diapers, clean your face, clean your ears, clean your nose. We got a very, 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 very special guest today, so let's go. All right, before anybody says a word, everybody mute. Everybody be quiet. I'm going to intro our guest today, a very, very special guest today. I'm not going to say his name. I'm going to put his resume out here real quick for the entire country of Canada and for the entire country of the United States of America. Listen up. Today's guest is the host of one of the biggest Memphis Grizzly podcasts on the entire World Wide Web, the entire internet, top ranked. Put him at the top. He's one of the biggest up-and-coming voices of basketball in the state of Tennessee. The entire state knows this man's voice. And soon ESPN, soon TNT, and soon Canada will know this voice. I'm still not going to tell you who it is, because you know who this is? This right here is the unofficial voice of the Memphis Grizzlies. And it's an honor to have him with us today, boys. Let's give a big salute to Mr. David Williams from the SportsEthos Memphis Grizzlies podcast. So here we go, man.
Man, hey, let's back it up a little bit. He's setting the bar too high.
No, man, that's not true. That's not true at all, man. That's it. That is it.
Keep that tape. Keep that tape.
Yeah, man. That's you. That's you. So, how's it going, boys?
I'm going to go back and clip that so I can use that as the intro to our
Oh, man. 100%. 100%. How's it going, boys? Everybody good? Everybody feeling good?
We're all good.
All right. Well, let's get right into it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay the dinner plate out right here. And what we do, David, is what we do here is we go right straight to the last game, which was the Memphis Grizzlies against the Toronto Raptors. The Grizzlies won this game 108-100. And it was here under the bright lights in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. But what we do is we usually go around the table and pick one word, 1, 2, 3 words that you can describe this game and give a brief rundown of why you choose that word. So we'll start off with A-Rod. A-Rod, give me that one word. Uno. Give it to me.
Suicide, man. Suicide.
Suicide.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus. After watching that game, oh, man. I told you I might end up on CP24 last time. In that game. It sent me to the edge, man. It sent me to the dark recesses of my brain, man.
Yeah, real dark, real dark.
When you see Jaren Jackson get 6 steals in the first quarter,
God.
man, oh, man. I almost shut off the TV. I don't know why I kept watching, but I did, and it was rough, man. It was rough.
I was ready to see you on CP24 shirtless with a lollipop on PCP. Oh. What about you, Max? So he's got suicide. Suicide is a suicide. What do you got, Max?
Yeah.
Give me your one word.
Oh, yeah. For those that don't know, our CP24 is like Fox 5 or Fox, whatever you guys have out there. Like,
yeah, it's our local news.
Yeah. But my one word is Lakers. Because when I seen them beat the Lakers the next game they played, and they played really well against the Lakers too, then I felt better about us taking that beating.
So did I, actually. Yeah. Good
Because I was like,
point.
wait a minute, like these guys aren't just popping up and having a good game when they're not supposed to, like the Raptors always do. No, they went out there in the bright lights and beat up on the Lakers. I was like, okay.
They showed so much heart. Yeah, I
Mhm.
like that. I like that. So, Lakers. What about you? So we got Suicide, Lakers, and David Williams. Hit me. What's your one word?
Bug. I'm gonna go with bug.
Bug.
So, bug. Yeah. So that is. I don't know where it came from, but that's the nickname floating around for Vince Williams Jr. And hey, this season has been just crazy, injury after injury after injury. You missed Ja the first 25 games.
Yeah.
You get the bad news early in the season that Steven Adams is going to be out the whole year, and then it's just stuff keeps stacking up. And Vince Williams Jr. has been a bright light in what has been overall a dim season for the Grizzlies.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Man.
He is definitely he has stuck out for sure. My one word is not one word. My one word is a bunch of words, and it's Mercury, murked, slewed, murder. She wrote, murdered. Sherlock Holmes, done with caskets, fucking tanks, and firing up tanks, and 1980s AIDS dead. We were just done, and it was a good thing. I came out of it was a good thing. We needed this because instantly after, I think it was the next game or a day later, it was like, it was all admitted the tank has begun. In other words, the tank has begun, and we're okay with that. And it's letting the fan base know, like, listen, this is going to be tough. There's going to be a lot of losses, but this is where we're headed. And, with the Pascal trade, there's probably another trade coming soon. But right now, this season is murked. It's done, and I don't mind that. I'm not mad at that. There's going to be some wins. There's going to be some losses, but I'm okay with that. So that's my words.
That's hard to swallow.
But you know it's the truth, though. I know it's a buzzkill, but it's the truth. And by the way, I want to go back to the intro, Troy Hubertese. Here's a picture of our Canadian legend, and that's the suit he made to detract and be able to fight an actual grizzly bear. So look it up. If you haven't seen it, it's actually the whole documentary is on YouTube, and give it a look because it is probably one of the greatest documentaries ever created.
That game felt like the Raps were Leo and the Revenant, man.
Oh man,
the bear just, man, he
scene.
Slaughtered us. And the thing was, man, like David was saying, the season hasn't been that great for the Grizz, but they came out and they played like they actually wanted to be there and wanted to win.
Yep.
And when you watch the Raptors, like, yeah, a few turnovers, you could be like, a little bit confused or disoriented because you have newer teammates. But just the willpower wasn't there. And watching the Grizz just take it to them was sad on my end, man. I expected a lot more from the guys, at least effort wise.
What were some of the things, to get on the other side of the perspective, on the Memphis side, what were some of the things that some positive stuff that you saw from your squad, David? So what were some of the things that you saw that really stuck out to you from that game?
Yeah, I think, he mentioned the Grizzlies coming out and being ready, like just sticking it to the Raptors. And that's something going back a couple weeks ago, the Grizzlies came out in the game and they just looked flat, did just nothing. And in the post game, Taylor Jenkins took all of it on himself. He's like, hey, listen, that's on me. I have to do a better job of getting these guys ready. And then you look at this game, and then you look at, they've won again since this game, and they're coming out. And even though this roster is depleted, these guys are coming out with the energy. They want to win. And, it's one of those things where if they win games and they happen to back their way into the playoffs, I'm not mad at it. But I have zero at this point. My expectations are as low as they can be. I just want to see guys develop and coming out and playing with energy. And so it's great. Jaren Jackson has been.
What about Gigi? What's your thoughts on Gigi? Yeah.
So, like, coming in, I knew that he could get buckets, right? Because at South Carolina, he was the offense, and you could go back and watch him in ISO at South Carolina. My concern was defense, and his time in the G League and with his coaching staff, you could see that's been a focus because he's doing great on rotations, and we've watched him pick up a couple help side blocks with that length. So that is I didn't expect him to be contributing this early in his career, but that's a welcome surprise for sure.
Yeah, yeah. What about you, Max? What were some of the things you saw on the dinosaur side, on the Purple Rain side, that stuck out to you in this game? Or you could
Well,
go on the Grizzly side too. I don't know why I just put you on the Rap side, but
I like that thing you said about the tank has begun, and that sort
yeah.
of vibe or sort of message being put out there, and then
Mm,
it being Barnes's team, but we're tanking. It's a lot of mixed messaging going on with the Raptors.
it
It's
is.
I'm not saying we're as confused as the Bucks right now, but I mean, we seem to be lacking direction. Yeah, like I don't really know where we're going with this, but I like the pieces we got. It's just what are we gonna do? We're just gonna sort of just float our way through the rest of the season. Like, where do
Yeah,
we
I don't
go?
know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think Bruce Brown's going to get moved. We don't have to get into the weeds with that, but I do get what you're saying. It is
But
disappointing.
there's something off about the way we're playing though.
Yeah,
Like we're
yeah.
not even in it to like we're not even being professional.
What do you think, A-Rod?
I think the rest of the season we're gonna have to evaluate the concepts and the play design of the coaching staff.
Yeah.
I mean, so far we haven't even won 3 games in a row this season.
And I don't know,
Jeez.
David, do you know this? Sorry, A-Rod. Do you know this with Darko, your ex-assistant coach? Darko has put it on paper that if the Raptors win 3 games in a row, he's going to give an all-expense-paid pizza party to the boys. So sorry, A-Rod. Sorry for cutting you
Yeah,
off. But
so David, the running joke was that they're gonna have a pizza party, after 3 wins, but it's not coming anytime soon. Because I don't even see how this squad right now, with the way they're playing, is gonna win even 30 games.
Darko, that pizza gonna get you fired, cuz.
yeah, I hope not. I hope. But to stick on Darko did something real classy. Him and his wife, Gaga, I think is her name.
Yeah.
They are donating $20 for every assist for the rest of the season to the Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto and in Serbia. And so,
wow.
they're paying for the assists that have already been done. So they're up to $26,000 right now. So I thought that was a real classy move, and Darko is definitely ingratiating himself with the city of Toronto and the country as well. So this is a straight up coach right there.
Yeah,
I like that move.
I think you guys will see, like, he played a huge part here in Memphis in Desmond Bain's development. There was, I would go to the games and watch. I like getting there early. Anywhere I go, I get there early typically, but you don't always see the stars warming up whenever you get there later. So I like going in early, and you would see Darko going over film, sitting on the bench, going over film with Desmond Bain and talking to him about certain things. And then you would see Desmond Bain implementing those things in the game. And obviously Bain has a certain level of talent in order to be able to go out and execute at the level that he does. But I think this roster now, with the movement of Pascal and the guys that you brought in, Tom Thibodeau is a good coach. Tom Thibodeau is not a developmental coach. So I'm interested to see what Darko can do with RJ Barrett. If you can see him unlock the best version of RJ Barrett. And you
We
trade
hope
for
so.
IQ,
We hope
like,
so.
like there's a lot of good young pieces. Scotty, obviously, they're turning the keys over to him, rightfully so. Like, he should be the one getting the keys. But
Yeah.
And he is playing a lot better, kind of like how he helped Barnes a lot. Scotty is playing really, really well under Darko.
RJ's been playing nice. Yeah, he's opened up for sure since he left the Knicks. Because, like, A-Rod, you've said it before. You said it right off the top when RJ got over here. It's like the court has opened up for him because the style of play is completely different than the system he had in New York, right?
Yeah, like
Brunson he dribbles the air out that ball out there in New York.
Yeah.
He does, but even before he came, I mean, New York was just littered with like forwards and setters, and just guys that just do not like to shoot from different areas of the court. It's all in that, that key.
Yeah.
So
Funny style.
it wasn't good for him.
Well, boys, listen. I just want to get out of this Memphis game for a second, just because it kind of gives me a cramp. Okay, so. But I have a question for you guys. I was at the coffee shop the other day, and there's this old. He's about, I think he's 101 years old. He's this old Italian guy. I think he's Greek or Italian. I can't tell because he doesn't talk too well. But if I get real close, I can understand what he's saying. And the other day, I went in there to get my coffee and my biscotti, delicious fresh biscottis, by the way, by the grandmother in the back. Anyway, so I go up to Nino. His name's Nino. I said, Nino, how are you doing today? And Nino's like, that's so good. I'm like, what's wrong, Nino? He's like, my back. I said, what about your back? He said, my back is so sore. The grandkids came over the other day, and they were throwing biscottis around the house, and I tried to pick one up, and I slipped and I fell, and my back went back to the wall. I was like, Nino, are you okay? Do you know of anywhere where I can find some lotion or some painkillers? Not that street shit. I want some like natural painkillers. I said, let me get on the podcast and ask the fellas if there's anywhere in the city I can find some painkillers that are natural. Boys, do you know of anywhere in the city?
Oh, we know a spot, man. We know a spot.
Man,
Where's that?
Popeyes, man.
Popeyes supplements.
Popeyes supplements. Well, listen up, everybody. And David, what that means is this is another segment of This or
That.
Brought to you by Popeyes supplements. All right, David, quick rundown what this or that is I peg two things, A and B, you give me C. Very, very, very simple, okay? So the first thing we're going to start off with a fictional street fight, all right? So this is an ex-Memphis Grizzly, actually two ex-Memphis Grizzlies, and one of them was a Raptor as well. We are going to pit in this corner on the right side. We got a big boy here. We got Marc Gasol, a legend.
Legend.
Gasol. This was him at
Look
the
at him go.
Raptors championship parade where he became a legend in this city. I don't know if you've seen these pictures, David, but he was drunk. So we got Marc Gasol in this corner against his brother, Pau Gasol, who also played for the Memphis Grizzlies. So we got one corner, Pau. We got brother against brother, mano a mano. A-Rod, who do you got, Marc or Pau?
I need a little more detail. Are we getting prime Marc Gasol, like Defensive Player of the Year Marc Gasol, or are we getting old Marc Gasol?
No, we're gonna get. Let's go prime of both. Let's go prime of both. Prime of both. Best shape,
if
Marc
I'm
Gasol.
going with both, or if you're talking about both in their prime, I'm gonna go with Pau, man.
Pau,
yeah,
really?
I'm gonna go with Pau. You know why, man? Because
Why?
listen, Pau took that energy off of Kobe, man.
Mm.
And Kobe doesn't play.
That is not easy. That is not easy.
No.
Hey, man, I'm gonna have to say Pau.
You're going Pau.
Yeah, I think Pau would find a way to get it done, man.
Okay, so we got 1-0 Pau. That's a surprising pick. I thought you were going to go with Marc when I said that they were at their prime. Okay, so 1-0 for Pau. Who do we got, Max P? Marc Gasol or Pau Gasol?
Oh, man. Shout out to the Memphis Grizzlies broadcast folks that do the highlights during the commercial breaks. Mm-hmm. They showed a highlight of old Paul Gasol when he was on the Grizzlies, dunking on Kevin Garnett and some other dude. And it was amazing. He went in with strength and power. I had to watch it again just to see, like, wow.
Pau had game,
so,
man. He did.
Like, Pau had some gangster in him that people don't really recognize. And also what A-Rod said about him dealing with Kobe. Holy, that is not easy. So I'm going with older brother.
You're going with Pau as well. Yeah, Pau. Sheesh. Okay. All right. So this is down to David Williams. You've probably sat back and watched these two play for the Grizzlies. So let me know, who do you got, Pau or Marc?
Man, like I feel like my guy's gonna get shut out, so I gotta take Marc. You know?
You're going with Marc?
Okay.
There's a couple reasons. Number one, I am a baby brother myself, and so if it's me versus my older brother, I'm taking him hands down. So I gotta go with the baby brother on this one.
I like it. All right, 2-1 for Pau. All right, this is what I'm gonna do here. I thought about it. I'm like, okay, I don't know what it is about Pau, but Pau bothers me. Pau bothers me like extremely. I don't know what it is. I think he's just got fantastic hair, and I want it because I'm follically challenged, and I don't know what it is. But when Marc came over to the Raptors, all of a sudden I just became a huge Marc Gasol fan because we got to see a side of him that we didn't get to see when he was out in Memphis and where he was at. Because
I was a fan of him in Memphis.
I was a fan too, but I didn't get to see that side of him, the post-game interviews, that side, this human side of him. And I was like, I really like this dude. He's a decent dude and a really smart basketball player. And I think what he's going to do, he's going to outsmart his skinny little brother. And I think he's just going to eat him up.
2 for 2.
And then he's going to have a drink right after, just bang, boom, and probably smash him in the back of the head with a bottle and just be like, get back to Spain,
We're tied at 2. We're tied at 2s.
2-2. So we'll leave it at a tie for the brothers, which seems right, doesn't it?
All right.
Yeah, it seems right. Seems right.
All right, the next one is, this one's going to be fun. This one's so one of them definitely is from Memphis. The other one's from the state of Tennessee. I don't think he's from Memphis specifically, but here we go. So this one is, in their heydays, on top of their game, who do you think partied more? I think this is going to be the battle of the Chichi get the yayo, but we'll see. In the Chichi get the yayo. All right, so in this corner, we got the king of Memphis, DJ Paul. All right, from 3-6 Mafia.
What we doing? Who partied more?
Who partied more in their heydays? So we got DJ Paul versus Mr. Chichi. Get the yayo Kenny Chesney, who is not from Memphis, as I did my research, but he is definitely from the state of Tennessee. And I am sure to death this dude has seen some days and nights. So we got DJ Paul from 3-6 Mafia versus Kenny Chesney. Who do you think partied more? Who do you got, A-Rod?
I think we had 3-6 as an option before.
We did.
I'm still gonna stick with DJ Paul because I gotta stay true to that.
Okay, so you're saying DJ Paul?
Yeah, man. I mean, just one-liners alone. DJ Paul is a dog you cannot trust. So, I mean, hey, once you say that, you be doing something. So,
man,
I'm gonna stick with DJ Paul, man.
And DJ Paul. Okay, so 1-0 for the KOM, King of Memphis. Max P, who do you got? DJ Paul or Kenny Chesney? Chichi, get the yayo.
I gotta go. Shout out to Kenny. Mm-hmm. I mean, we got the same. That's my first name. Shoot, you know what I mean? Like,
it's true.
Oh man, I hate to go against you, Kenny. I hate to go against you, Kenny, but DJ Paul is the first rapper I've seen like do blow in a music video. Like he just, DJ Paul is a legend, man.
Yeah, he is. And shout out to Crunchy Black right there. That's my favorite. Crunchy Black for hard hitter money gang. So we got
Dave. Who you got, Dave?
Yeah, Dave, who you got, man?
If I say anybody other than DJ Paul, they ain't gonna be back in Memphis. I can't go back to the forum, man. Can't do it.
He really is the king of Memphis, huh?
Yeah. One of my buddies, he used to say Kenny Chesney looks like a real life version of Jiminy Cricket. So when you look at that dude, if you ever see that, like,
that's it right there. There we go.
All right, so we got 3-0 DJ Paul. Now listen. Of course, it would make sense that DJ Paul, I'm a huge fan. 3-6 Mafia, like we've gone over 3-6 Mafia a few times on this pod. We love him. Big fans. DJ Paul for sure. Crunchy Black, boom, boom, boom. Listen, in a fight though, in a party sense though, I was gonna go DJ Paul 100% until I saw one picture. I haven't posted it.
Those pics are impressive.
Listen, when
those pics are impressive.
Wears one of those necklaces, okay? Oh. You see those shell necklaces? When a guy wears one of those with a tank top, okay, that he intentionally cut, and a cowboy hat with that stupid smirk like that guy's got a backpack full of yayo. A backpack full of yayo. And he's got a boat he's leasing, and he is going crazy until his heart explodes. Now, if I had to choose between DJ Paul and Kenny Chesney.
Look at that. That's March break right there. Like, that's some partying right there.
You know what? Fuck it. No, I'm still going DJ Paul. I was going to try.
Okay.
No, I can't. I can't do it. I can't do it. Come on, man. This guy won an Oscar. Like, blue suede shoes. Like, these guys are legends, man. Okay, DJ Paul with the sweet. That was easy. I was just trying to make something funny there, but... All right, this one is specific. This one's for all of us, but I want to start with you, David, because you definitely would feel the vibe more because you're down there. So, who on the streets down there is the bigger Memphis Grizzlies legend? Is it Tony Allen, or is it Zach Randolph? Who on the streets is the bigger Memphis Grizzlies legend?
Good question.
Tony Allen or Zach Randolph. Because those are two of my favorite players, to be honest. I love those guys.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, so, you know, Randolph has his jersey retired already. They had that, and they were planning on retiring Allen's jersey the same year, just later on in the year, but then he got in trouble for the insurance fraud stuff or whatever it was.
The medical stuff, that's right.
Yeah. So, like, personally, it's Zebo. Like, for me, it's Zebo, hands down. But I think it's extremely close between the two, because if you talk about that grit and grind era and you talk about moments that happen when Tony Allen is on the floor and he's shaking his head and he's put first team all defense, like that was an iconic moment that will forever, like every time you watch that moment, like you go back and you watch that video, if you're a Grizzlies fan, if you don't want to run through a wall after watching that, then you're not really a Grizzlies fan. So like I will give it to Zebo, but in a slim victory.
I like that.
I like that.
That's a great answer. See, I knew we'd get the right answer with that one. So we got Zebo. What about you, A-Rod? Who you got, Zebo or Tony Allen?
I mean, just being a third-party outsider, you know, I love Tony Allen, man. Tony Allen, like, made it cool to play defense, man. That's something that's very rare. Like, you just...
A-Rod, I got to give you a shot. He may have the true king of Memphis on the wall behind him back there.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say,
Penny Hardaway, baby.
You know what's funny? I was going to save that question for you at the end, but I'll just ask it now since we already got into it.
Kill it.
How do you feel about the Memphis team this year?
Yeah, so they've got a ton of talent. The guard play, so he's playing his son because he's a senior.
Yeah.
And there are more times than not that his son shouldn't be on the floor for a high-level college basketball team. He obviously has basketball IQ, but he doesn't have the talent level to be out there. So I think that if he gets out of his way and uses his head and not his heart, I think that team can be dangerous. But they also have to lock in focus is a big thing. You look at some of the losses that they lost to FAU, and that's a team they should have slaughtered them. Like they should have just dog walked them. And they came out and they were playing with their food. And so he's got to figure out a way. We've got a lot of time between now and that tournament in March. So you got to figure out a way to get these guys focused, and he's got to stop giving his son so many minutes, because he's just not the answer, man. Like I understand it. I get loving your kid, and I'm not saying that his kid is not Division I talent, but he's not going to play high level Division I basketball. There's levels to it, right? Like he is, no doubt he should be playing at the Division I level, but if they're going to win a national championship, it's not going to be because of him.
Yeah. There's other guys on the team who are better, clearly. Like
sure.
Quinterly is amazing too.
Dude,
I mean, Quinterly was such a high pick coming over to Nova, right? And then I believe he went to Bama afterwards.
I
think he went to
I think
he went to Bama, and then he went to the portal and came to Memphis. But by now he's like a well-developed player who was a 5-star recruit, so it's kind of nice to see that. But Penny was my favorite player before AI. So that's why the poster's still up there. Right?
I have a quick Penny Hardaway story. So when the first pennies came out, the blue and white ones, they were at this store just outside of Toronto. You know, in Barrie they have that outlet mall, the big red outlet mall. Yeah. So I went in there. They had a Nike store in there, and I was young. I was like, I was 17 years old, 1997, I think. Is that when they came out? Anyways, I went in there and I saw the pennies, the blue and white ones. I'm like, oh my God, and they're cheap. And I got just enough money, right? But oh no, they're 2 sizes too small. I'm still gonna buy them. I just mashed my feet in there. Just my feet were like, toes were like this, and just mashed in there. Every time I took them off, there was like bruises, and I was bleeding. But I still like my pennies, man. Because Penny was a legend. Penny was a legend, man.
Penny was cool as hell.
Yeah, he was. Let's give a big salute to Penny Hardaway. That was a good call, man. Yeah. And I want to give one shout out before we get out of this episode of This or That, is a Tennessee legend that as I was going through doing some of my research and looking up some of the music and looking up some of the entertainers and stars of Memphis and the state of Tennessee, one came up and I'm like, yeah, I knew she was from there, but my God, she looked good when she was younger. Look at this Dolly Parton picture. God damn. Dolly Parton when she had, look at this wavy little blonde hair going on here with that little side look. Ooh, got the J-Lo earrings on and the jean shirt, just like, yeah, just howdy doody. So a big shout out to Dolly Parton from the state of Tennessee. You are a true beauty and a queen amongst queens. All right, so that's another episode of This or That brought to you by Popeyes
Supplements.
And let's get out of there. So next up, David, we go around the NBA, and there's just notes that have come upon. It's always, the League of Drama always gives us stuff to talk about. And I'll throw a few out there, and you guys can throw a few back. But I got a couple here I want to see what your take is. I want to see what you think about the King of Brampton, which is a town just outside of Toronto where Tristan Thompson is from, because he just got caught on some steroids. So he's out for 25 games. What do you think, Max, since the Brampton boy here, what did you think of Tristan getting caught on this?
Well, I had one of those arguments at the dinner table. Well, what was the last holiday we had? Christmas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had one of those. I was like, man, a lot of these dudes are on the roids. Like, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So when Tristan got hit with that 25 game thing, I was like, I felt vindicated a little bit, just a little bit, you know.
The truth. He shouldn't even be getting 5-6 rebounds.
That's exactly what I felt like.
Anyways, Tristan, yeah, have fun on the, sitting at home, buddy. I'm not a Tristan Thompson fan. Anyways, what do you think? Listen, I don't even want to talk about Tristan Thompson, actually. He just needs to just pay his child support. Just go, Tristan, go. You're not welcome back here. Anyway, what about Lowry getting traded? This came out of nowhere. Terry Rozier for Kyle Lowry. Seemed like a strange trade. I don't know what was going on. Anybody jump in on this? I don't know. His twilight, I think, now, Lowry. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't think he's going to play a game in Charlotte. What do you boys think?
I think it was just for an expiring contract.
Yeah.
And he wasn't playing too many games. He wasn't playing particularly well. I mean, he was organizing the offense, at a decent level, because he's still Kyle Lowry at the end of the day. But he's just older. He's getting paid too much. The cheaper option is Rozier. Probably fits the team a little bit better. And Miami always likes to have multiple guys at that shooting guard position. It seems like year-round they just get to more and more playoff rounds because of randos like Caleb Martin, and then after you got Haywood Highsmith, then you got Duncan Robinson coming through. It's not going to surprise me if Rozier does really well, because he was playing
Rozier's nice.
He was playing above his contract for sure.
Yeah.
So I remember, I don't know if you guys remember when he first got his deal, everybody's like, whoa, like that's way too much money for Rozier. But, compared to what everybody is getting paid now, he was outplaying his contract, I think, at least.
Yeah. So. Dave, what do you think of the Adrian Griffin firing and Doc hiring? What was your take on that?
I mean, I think the firing should probably go higher up than just that. Like, if you're making the call on your head coach, like you're running the franchise and you know that you're engaged in negotiations, like why would you get a guy that you didn't believe could get you to a championship?
Right.
That's a good call.
Maybe when they made that hire, they thought he would. But I was watching. I want to say it was Brian Windhorst. It was a talking head on ESPN, and they mentioned that the Bucks were prepared to take a step back because they didn't know if they were going to re-sign Brooke. They didn't know if they could re-sign Middleton. They were not sure that they were going to be able to land Dame. And so they were prepared to take a step back, and they thought that he would be a good fit for that. So it's gross mismanagement, right? Mm-hmm. When you have a team of that caliber and the coach loses the locker room, I think it's better off to pull that Band-Aid off sooner rather than later. But I think that it shouldn't have got to this point, because if you're making your coaching decision, it should have been after you line out your personnel stuff. To me, like you line out who you're going to have on the roster, and then it's like, okay, if this team is not a championship team, this is the guy that I want to develop the Marjan Beauchamps, the guys that I've got on this roster that are going to get run that wouldn't get a run if this was a championship team. So I just the general manager dropped the basket on this one for me.
I think so too.
It's kind of interesting what you said there, David, because you were talking about having the personnel kind of laid out before you make the coaching change or the coaching appointment. It's interesting in basketball, that's kind of the way it should run. But when you look at other sports like soccer, it's like they usually bring in the head coach first, and then he tells the management who I want to like get in the transfer window, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a different approach for basketball. But I agree with you, man. They should have actually thought this through. And it feels like gross mismanagement because he's at the end of the day they still had a good winning record. The problem was
second
just
in the East.
They looked disjointed on the court. They didn't look happy. The body language was poor, and they weren't playing particularly.
The giveaway. The giveaway that they don't know what they're doing, and it's a higher up situation. Is them doing the panic move of hiring Doc. What's up, Doc? It's a panic move.
That is.
Can we collectively agree? I'm sorry, Max. I don't mean to talk over you, but can we collectively agree that the only reason Doc Rivers has gotten his last 3 coaching jobs is because of Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Rajon Rondo?
100%.
In reality,
it's gotta be. 100%. It's gotta be. It's the only way.
He has had since then. He has had insane talent on rosters and has not been able to get them over the hump. He's still getting opportunities. And it seems like the NBA, they recycle coaches. Like, you hear every year, and I just lost his name. He coached for the Suns, and then
what's his name?
The Rockets.
And, I know who you're. D'Antoni.
Yeah. Like,
what? He's still in the mix?
Well,
no, but he'll probably come back.
In the offseason, there were calls.
Yeah, I get what he's saying.
Like when the Nets hired Steve Nash, that was a name that was getting thrown around, and it's like, man, why? Like he's a regular season coach. This dude can't get it done. And
clearly,
I think we try to read deeper into it sometimes than what we need to. Like take it at face value. He's never been able to win a championship.
Yeah.
What makes you think he's got what it takes to get over that hump? And some guys, young guys, you can take that opportunity. But D'Antoni and Doc Rivers, those guys have the resume, and it should speak for itself. But it clearly doesn't.
Hey Max, brother. you said panic, right? You said panic. That reminds me of one thing. It's like when you get an STD test, it's panic, right? It's panic. And that reminded me of
Jordan, to the clinic, baby. Woo,
that reminded me of Jordan Poole, and a story of Jordan Poole is that the other night the Washington Wizards had Jordan Poole party night. I swear to God, you can't make this up. Yeah. They were giving out free towels that said pool party. He dropped 3 points. Whoa. 3 points. 3 points because of probably panic. I've said this before, David, but you weren't on the pod. I think I figured the riddle of Jordan Poole out. You know what it is? I think Jordan Poole is dealing with some issues downstairs with pain. Because how hard would it be to have a real itch or a burn down by the nutsack and have to do your jump shot and have to score and have to be the guy with a mustache like that? It's not going to happen because, like Tyson said, he had some rough fights because he had some pain in his shorts. And I think that Jordan Poole's got some pool party in his shorts that went astray. And I think he needs to go to the doctor, and I think he needs to hit the panic button, and he needs to get this fixed, get some antibiotics, get something, but talk to the doctors and do it quick. Washington, help him out. Hold his hand. Take him to the clinic. Boom. That's it. That's my take on Jordan Poole.
Act of the pool.
Poolishness. Yeah, poolishness. All right. Lastly, I just want to get what you boys think on the anniversary of Kobe's 81. Sorry, 81. Is MB dropping 70 and Cat dropping, I think it was 62 on the same night.
And his coach aired him out.
Yeah, he did.
Benched him for the crunch time and aired him out after.
No.
Interesting. I mean, Cat was on fire.
He was.
I believe he had 8 threes in the first half. Something like that. Some of them were just straight up heat checks.
Yeah. Which you can't blame him.
Embiid is such a... Oh, man. How do I put this? This guy is such a talented player, but I hate watching him play. in ways. I'm beginning to just hate watching him play because he is such a foul merchant. And when he shows up versus the worst teams in the league. San Antonio Spurs got nobody. And they're regularly getting bodied every night. And watching this guy just go for 70 was sickening in a way.
Yeah.
With 25 free throws, I was like, I don't know what to say anymore, man.
And then the next day he showed up to practice wearing a mink jacket. Did you see that?
Oh, and then hold on. Let me just throw this out there. Then he plays the Pacers tonight. Scores 31, but they get blown out by I believe 20.
Without Halliburton. Yeah.
So I rest my case, man.
Yeah, no, I hear you, buddy. I hear you.
You know, it's sad. There's a bunch of fans who don't watch games are going to see that 31 and say, wow, what a great game.
Yeah.
Like, this is the world we're living in. People, like, he's going to get love for that 31. Even
that's kind of like every LeBron game,
I mean?
right? It's a shame that people actually don't watch LeBron and understand
that's
what's
a
going
whole
on
other
here.
level of frustration right there.
Yeah,
but Embiid, you got to show improve, and this is not the show improve time. So,
yeah. All right, boys. Well, next up, I don't know. Is there anything else around the NBA that has stuck out to you, David, Max, A.Rod? Anything that grabbed your attention before we get out of here?
I feel like the 62 shouldn't even be mentioned in the same breath. I know it was the same date, but like, how do you drop 62 and lose a game like that? Just,
you're right.
And I've got to be honest, like there is a disdain inside of me that I just can't contain. Karl Anthony Towns is like Charmin soft, dude. I going back, I lost all respect for that dude when Jimmy Butler was on his team, and Butler, like, you hear the stories about him going in and busting their ass with the second team, and it's like, if you have a guy of that caliber, because Butler has carried some good, like some not so good teams, like that Miami team, to the finals last year, and they had a lot of talent on that Minnesota team. But Towns he doesn't work, man. And that is, he's had it cherry picked and silver spoon his whole life, fed to him how great he is. And so now he doesn't feel like he has to work for it. And I will never respect that dude. And there are people that talk about him and Kevin Garnett in the same breath, and I just want to smack the table.
No. I don't know those guys. I don't know those guys.
I'm glad I don't know those guys.
Those guys wouldn't step foot close to this pod. No.
I'm a big fan of Anthony Edwards, and I'm so frustrated they haven't traded Cat Williams. I've been hollering trade this guy since probably Anthony Edwards' second season.
5'3".
Cat Williams, listen to me. Shout out to Cat Williams.
Yeah, shout out to Cat. Yeah.
But yeah, this guy, he's not that dude. He's definitely not Kevin Garnett, man.
No.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, next up we got the Clippers coming into the city tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. at Scotiabank Arena. And it's at 7:30 p.m. Like I said, what do you boys want to see coming out of this game with Kawhi coming in here, James Harden? James Harden's here right now selling his wine at a local LCBO. LCBO is in Ontario. We have stores, but one store that sells liquor. It's called the LCBO, and it's licensed by the government. And so we only have one store. We don't sell them in corner stores and variety stores, confectionery stores. It's just one store. You get your wine, you get your beer, boom. And he's in one of those right now selling his, I don't know, bearded wine. I don't know what it is, but he's doing that now. So, what do you boys want to see in this game? Hit me.
I don't even know what I want to see at this point, man. I mean, no offense to Dave and Memphis. It's just I expected them to beat Memphis considering the talent you guys have and you're able to put out. But
because it's G League-ish right now.
It's not even ish, bro. The only person that played that game that has not spent time in the G League was Jaren Jackson Jr.
Damn,
and
that
I think,
is a crazy stat, right?
Like
there.
You go back to that roster, a lot of those guys spent time together. Vince Williams, Santi Aldama, Zaire Williams, David Roddy, Gilliard, even going to Xavier Tillman. I forgot Kennard played in that game. He's been out. But Kennard and Jaren were the only two guys that have not spent extensive time in the G League. So I I didn't expect this team to win many games at all moving forward. So when they won this game, I was shocked. Like, obviously happy that they did, because you got good stuff from young guys. But yeah,
and they deserve that win. They outplayed the Raps, out-hustled, out-fought. Like, it's just
100%.
And then they did it against the Lakers. And then they did it against the Lakers.
That's the thing. You can't even. It's almost like that old school Memphis thing. It just hasn't left their blood. They just fight. They just fight, and I love that. I love that part of them, because
y'all got like some kind of voodoo lady put a hex on y'all.
Oh man,
we talking too much crap to those Pelicans fans.
Yeah, man.
What's the vibe on Ja's dad down there? Is it a good vibes, bad vibes?
Bro, okay. So the media paints this dude as something he is absolutely not. Like the stuff that you see from the media. I go to a ton of games, and I can guarantee you that T. Morant knows every usher around the floor by name.
That's respect.
He goes up, he talks to them. He know it, like when he's walking up, if you know, hey man, what's going on? Knows it, calls them by name. They'll talk about family. They'll talk about the city. The other night, I was at a game. I can't remember. It was the Knicks game. I was at the Knicks game, and you saw T just making his way around the bottom, like on the opposite side of the bench. He was all up and down the floor, talking to different people, sitting down, talking to the ushers, and media paints this dude like he's some sort of camera whore. And that's not the case at all. Like he's out there and he's being friendly, he's networking, but he's just a flat out, like, if a fan wants a picture with him, he's going to go and talk to him. He's going to take pictures with them. And you see a lot of media outlets, just the story by McMahon and ESPN was just a complete shit show, pardon my French. But
that's why I wanted to ask you, because dude,
I have nothing but great stuff to say about that dude. He's still coming out to the games. Ja Morant is not playing. He's out there supporting the team.
That's nice.
And I've never seen him be
like
anything other than fantastic to anybody around the forum. Like, I've never seen him have cross or mixed words with anybody there.
So what you're saying, Dave, is you'd fight Shannon Sharp for him.
Yeah. You don't want
that was a legendary moment when Steve Adams stepped in the picture, though.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite moments, because we don't get those no more. Back in the day with the Heat and the Knicks and stuff, we used to get that every season. But that was a great little moment of some gangsterism a little bit. Like, Steven Adams was like, man, make a move. I will crush you.
I will eat you. On that note, boys, I think, first of all, I want to thank you, David, for coming on and sharing your time with us, because this was, let's give him a big salute, first of all, David Williams.
Salute.
And it, like I said on the intro on the top, I wasn't trying to gas you up. It's the truth. This is one of the best Memphis Grizzlies. If you haven't listened to it, listen to it. You'll understand why I'm saying that. It's one of the best, if not the best, Memphis Grizzlies podcast on the internet, because he knows what he's talking about. He's got 10 toes down on the streets. That's why I've asked him these certain questions. He knows what's going on with the team. He knows what's going on with the players' families. He knows what's going on. So that's why you want to listen to this podcast. And he's got the voice of basketball. He's got the voice of Tennessee. So go right now, go find his podcast and listen to it. Now, David, the stage is yours. I want you to tell everybody, the listeners, where they can find you, and let them know. Yeah.
So the podcast is the SportsEthos Grizzlies podcast. Get that anywhere where you get your podcast. We're on Twitter, or X, however you want to refer to it, at Ethos Grizzlies, and my personal is at NBA DWill21.
And awesome. That's it. And that's all. Boys, let's give another salute. Thank you, Dave Williams, for sharing your time,
Dave.
my friend.
Great to meet you.
And on that note, everybody be safe. And remember, if you feel like you're in a panic situation, just go to the clinic. And this was another episode of the SportsEthos Toronto Raptor podcast. And like I said earlier, and on every other time I've done it before, if you see a little heart, click that heart, because that heart boosts the algorithm, and the algorithm will say, keep going to this podcast. This podcast is the best Raptor podcast. This Raptor podcast.